Happy Friday, welcome back to Melly Loves Death Metal. Just gonna do a chill ass video today. I had no intentions of recording this particular video, but I got this in the mail yesterday and I figured, you know what? It's time to just do a whole entire video dedicated to Noxious Ruin. Because it's been probably 2, 3 years now since I've talked about them on the channel. I showed off a zine that I got, was it Noxious Ruin 2? Or 3. It was relatively soon in the career of their zine making, and I have not talked about them since, and that's not good because they definitely deserve way more attention into the underground. I mean, if you're familiar with the underground death metal scene, you know Noxious Ruin. You understand who they are. You get these zines, you collect them, and you know about their releases that they put out. But this is definitely a video for the people who are not familiar with them, who are chasing and hunting underground death metal, that love zines and also want to add more to their cassette collection. This is definitely the video for you. So highly recommend you watching it and then clicking on all the links in the description to check this out. So Noxious Ruin, obviously, as you can see here, is a zine. And I don't collect zines. I always talk about this. But this is my third one I've bought from them. And the reason why I decided to get this one is because of, generally, it really all comes down to cost. If I'm in the mood to put my expense towards something that's not like a vinyl record or just a bunch of tapes, then I will. But zines, for the most part, I don't generally collect them because I look through them like once or twice and then they sit on my shelf forever and I don't do anything else with them. And when I collect things, I want them to be somewhat functional. Obviously, that's not always the case for what I collect, like the Funko Pops, but they serve more of a purpose as like a decorative thing. But I don't know. So, like books, generally, I have a lot of books. I kind of stopped buying books for that reason. But anyway, I still read though. I still buy like the digital books. So people who are all like, "Oh my god, you gotta buy books." There are a lot of people like that. No, I'm really much that person that has completely moved digital in terms of reading, and I buy all digital books on my iPad. But anyway, Noxious Ruin is not just a zine. Like I said, they also put out tapes, and I went and I finally, after a long time of not buying from them, or just simply not being able to because they sell out, because that's also the case. I finally made a purchase within the last several weeks. I made a tape purchase several weeks ago, which I've been holding off because I knew this was coming and I wanted to do a whole entire episode together with this. So this is Noxious Ruin Volume 10. This is their zine. It is very thick. This is essentially a book, okay? That's what you're getting here. Of some of the most, like, just some of the most amazing artwork and overall quality in regards to a zine. This is not a shot at Headsplit whatsoever, but it's just a different style. Like Headsplit does the Xerox paper zines, which I love these too. I actually have probably 30 of these now. I keep every single one. Maybe not 30, I don't know. It's a lot. This is newsletter 48, but I don't think I have 30. Maybe 20. That was probably a stretch there. But, he does like the Xerox style. Oh, yeah. Damn, this album. Anyway, like interviews and stuff. And this is like old school zine that I'm more familiar with, that people still collect these and stuff like that. And this is what would get passed out to me when I go to shows and stuff like that when I was younger. But so yeah, that's the Headsplit zine. I pulled that out for an example. But Noxious Ruin is different. This is like a hardcore magazine in terms of quality. It is super thick. The overall image quality is incredible, and there's a lot of thought and details that go into this. But the one thing that I absolutely love about it is it promotes underground artists that you may not be familiar with or not know who they are. And this is definitely one of the things about metal music, death metal as a whole, that I absolutely love, is the art culture around it. The artwork that you get with what you're buying with a vinyl or just the zine or a t-shirt or anything that comes along with it, like, it's just, this is a very collectible thing in that regards. And I was thinking, like, I really shouldn't have stopped buying these, because that was the one thing that I absolutely loved about this magazine. There's obviously several other zines out there too that do this. Unfortunately, I'm just not so well versed on that, so I can't name any off right now. But I've seen them around. I've seen other YouTubers show them off. But outside of the artwork, yes, there are band interviews and stuff like that. They feature a list of bands every issue, and it's always underground death metal bands that you may not be as familiar with. Sometimes there are some people in here that you are super familiar with, like Worm was in this. That's one of the copies that I have. Was it Worm? I might be confusing that with another one. That might have been Arcane Archivist I'm thinking of. Maybe it wasn't Worm. Undergang, maybe? I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. I probably just completely got that wrong. But anyway, speaking of Undergang, here's Extremely Rotten Productions. Yeah. It wasn't Worm. I'm just thinking about this now. Anyway, I really should have pulled off my other zines to see what the reason for it. But anyway, I got this because I also wanted what else comes with it. The cool thing about Noxious Ruin is you get this zine, and then they do this awesome thing where they make an underground mixtape. So this is Noxious Ruin Volume 10. And it's this mixtape of all the underground death metal bands on it. And I don't generally buy mixtapes a whole lot. It's not really a thing that I'm into collecting. But this is really, really cool. I got several of these, and there's a bunch of bands on here that I don't know really that well on here. Some of them are Noxious Ruin releases. Actually, a lot of them are. And then other ones are just bands that I've never heard of. So this is the first mixtape that they've made where there's a lot of bands on here that I am not familiar with. So that was another reason why I bought it, is because I wanted to have something in my collection of music that I wasn't familiar with and be able to listen to it and collect it. So those are all the bands and then the songs that they have on here. So you get a lot on this tape. And then, of course, the quality J card of awesome artwork once again. There's the artist, I'm assuming, is right there. Come on. Figure out the camera, Melanie. Yeah. Compilation art by Logan Hamilton. And then it usually has its handle for like Instagram. Then the other side here is all of the band logos. So this is the other cool thing about Noxious Ruin. And I gotta say, these do sell out quick. This went on sale a couple of, last week. And I got it yesterday. Not even last week. It hasn't even been a week yet. I feel like it hasn't even been a week yet. They do distro them out to other places in the world. I think some European distros and stuff like that get them. For the most part, they do sell out relatively quick. For right now, it's still available. I'm going to link in the description where you can buy this. If you're a zine hunter, and you're not familiar with Noxious Ruin, this is definitely right up your alley. So, like I said, amazing artwork on here. It goes into just the attention to detail and the work that goes into this. It lists every single artist and interview and who does what in here. There's also, like I said, interviews. This is talking about the compilation and what went into making it. And then also introduced all the bands that are basically talked about in the zine. And then we have just the assortment of, here's Dahmer art. This guy's awesome. Yeah, I'm familiar with his work. His work is awesome. So it just has all this artwork in here. Like, this is just a treasure trove of, if you're an underground death metal band or just an underground metal band as a whole, doesn't have to be death metal, and you're looking for an artist to do some of your work, and you're trying to find a style, this is one of those things, this is perfect for finding artists that you're not familiar with. It's just an amazing way that they display the artwork. Oh, look at that. Who is this by? Nether Temple Design. See, I don't know who these artists are, but now I'm going to follow these artists on Instagram now, because Noxious Ruin allowed me to find them. And then, of course, there's back to the interviews. Just essentially, it's a book. This is going to take me days to get through. And I will read it all. I do. I love this stuff. Like, this is just archival documentation. So there, how that looks oddly familiar. Sodom, anybody? But yeah. And just even like the outside imagery and stuff like that is awesome. So if you're an art fiend, if you love the art culture in regards to metal music, death metal, underground, this is awesome. See, there's a lot of these I haven't fully looked through this yet. I got it yesterday, and then we had to leave almost immediately after the mail finally dropped off. So there's just a lot that I need to go through in here, but this is just, it's such an awesome zine. I kind of regret not buying all of them because I do think that this zine in particular is probably one that I would often go back and look at, and relook at, and maybe if I'm trying to find some artwork that I like, because I do like to support artists too, and I do buy prints and stuff like that. I don't always hang them, but I do I save them for when I do decide to hang them. I do, in my room right now, you can't really see, but I do have a couple of things hanging just behind the camera, so some more cool stuff. So it's an amazing zine. I could go through this page by page and show you everything, but honestly, it would take hours probably. But just awesome zine. So definitely highly recommend it. And then here's the spine. So worth it. Get the mixtape. I have not listened to this yet. I plan on doing this today. I've got a lot of listening to do. I've got a huge listening to, and then you also get a little screen printed poster of this artist. I accidentally bent this. It did not come bent. They package it really nice. That was my doing. Let me find out. I forgot who this artist was already. It says it like right here. Cover art, compilation art, poster art, Kyle Bowen. So yeah, another cool thing. I have a couple of these from the past ones. I need to just frame. I need to just go and just buy a bunch of frames and hang all of the things and just make my office a art studio and just hang all these things. So on top of the zine, there's also a label here, and they press some of the most unique tapes that you will ever buy, of the utmost top quality too. Not the sound. You're not getting like pristine productionalized death metal here. That's not this, but this are some of the most underground bands that I had never heard of. I had to listen to them before I decided to buy them, and all of these are currently on sale for $6 right now. So they've got several new releases that are coming, so they're trying to clear out their inventory, so they're on sale for $6.40. So if you go and you listen to these links and you like what you hear, $6 for a cassette. And what you're about to see, it's not just a cassette, it's art. It's very unique. And they do sit nicely in my cassette shelves. So for people that are going to ask that, like, well, do they store properly? Yes, they 1000% do. So I have listened to all of these releases at least once, some of them more than once. And I really like all of them. Definitely some very underground styles here. Some things that, again, bands that I have never heard of before. So yeah. So the first one is called Cryptal Echoes, self-titled. So here is the cassette. It is in this like silk screened shell. It's like a cardboard shell, okay? And it folds out into this awesome display here. So opens up like this. And then here's the tape inside, and then underneath the tape is a Xeroxed paper, like basically liner notes and more artwork. So here is the inside of the tape shell of the box. And it's super nice quality. It's got the texture feel to it. And then here's the outside that I just showed you. So that, and it folds up really nicely. I'll show you in just a minute. I'm not going to do like this super in-depth talk through every single one of these tapes. But it comes with a Xerox piece of paper on the inside, liner notes, sometimes lyrics, all that stuff. Noxious Ruin does all of this screen printing and layouts and everything. So they don't just find the bands, they don't just get them, productionalized. They do all the art like behind it in terms of the layouts and screen printing and everything. So, and then here is the tape. So, Cryptal Echoes, and then it folds up. Sorry, I forgot to say, super nicely again. It goes just right back together, and it sits perfectly on my cassette shelf. So Cryptal Shadows is this is like basically 30 minutes of Death Doom. It's just very, very agonizing, very raw sounding, very desperate is what Noxious Ruin writes in their like promo release thing. It's so good. It's basically like raw sounding finished Death Doom essentially. It's just very agonizing. I forgot where they're from, so I'm gonna just, like I said, this is just a chill uh, video where I don't really have like a ton of pre-written up notes. Just talking through, having a nice little chat with you all today. This band is out of Austria, and this is just their first ever EP that they've ever released. Again, I was not very familiar with this band, but after listening to this, I'm a fan now. So like this is really, really just underground, straight like underground Death Doom of just the most agonizing way. Like it's very, very dark and just depressing almost. So and heavy and crushing. So this is very good. I really enjoyed that. I listened to that and I ordered it. I listened to it again. I think I shared that on Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen that. So the next one is a very interesting release, and it looks like black metal. It's not really black metal. This is Begravet. I probably butchered that again. Links will be in the description. So here is this, and this reminds me of just straightforward black metal with the printing on the outside, and it says Noxious Ruin on the outside. This band is essentially raw death metal in the vein of raw black metal, doomy death metal. They're from Norway, so it's Norwegian doom. It's an interesting listen. It's very much like in the vein of Hell, if you're familiar with that band, but a little bit more raw. Like this is raw death metal. Like it was recorded in a, like it says on here. I'll open the shell and I'll show you. This was an interesting listen. Probably some of the most interesting death metal that I've ever owned in my collection. In that it's very much in the vein of what you would assume with raw black metal, just overall imagery of the tape shell, and then the Xeroxed paper. I mean, I'm getting Burzum vibes. I'm getting a bunch of other vibes from this, and then here's lyrics and that stuff. But it says here that it was recorded on analog 4-track cassette recorder. So there you go. You know the sound that you're gonna get, raw as hell. But it's death metal. It's not black metal. And then here is the tape. So this is 24 minutes long, so it's a pretty quick listen, and it's what you would say. It sounds like shit, but it's awesome at the same time. The riffs are very, very prominent. It's very demo sounding. So this is very unique. Again, another band that I've never heard of, and I can't say the name of this album because it's in, I believe, probably Norwegian. Begravet Skogen, yeah, see, but this is a demo, so it's got that demo style. This is the only thing they put out so far, and I believe it's just one man. Yeah, it's just a one-man demo project or band here. This is very interesting if you're really into that raw sound. If you love raw black metal and you also love death metal, you're gonna like this. Like, if there's a big, just the overall aesthetic, and it's just dark and cold and Sounds like it's being recorded in a basement with a Fisher Price thing, and that's essentially what you're getting here with this, but it's also very, very crushing and good. So I would definitely check that out. Just again, very unique. I've never heard of this stuff. This is some of the most underground stuff that I have in my collection at the moment. I always like kind of pride myself in being able to keep up with these things, but I have not kept up with what Noxious Ruin has been putting out. And again, I had to go Google these bands. There's two bands that they have right now that I'm very familiar with, and I'm showing off one of those today. But like yeah. So again, links in the description to listen to these and where you can find these and buy them. So that was really good. So the next one is again another one that I was not too familiar with. I'm trying to find the thing around it here. I feel like this one was thrown in. This might have been thrown in. No, it's right here. I got it. Never mind. This one I can't pronounce the name of this band. Pvrgatorii. Pvrgatorii. It's Pvrgator. This is another band that I was not familiar with. I'd never heard of them. I listened to it and I bought it when I liked it because I liked what I was hearing. But this is they're from Spain. And this is called Marching Through the Night Guided by a Black Fire. This is their second full-length album. This is blackened death metal, black metal with death metal influences in there, a little bit of punk too, just a tiny bit. Very much in the vein of war metal, and you'll see why I'm saying that in just a minute. There's definitely more punky elements to this than there is war metal, but there's definitely that war metal, black metal stylism to it. It's definitely more black metal, but there's definitely some hints of death metal in here. And here you go. Here's the, yeah. Like, can you see why I said war metal? Just because of the overall. But even the sound, like it has a lot of remnants of that as well. Again, I was not familiar with this. I really like this. It's raw, it's intense, it's just aggressive. It's not aggressive and super like face melting like Antichrist Siege Machine or anything like that, but it's definitely similarities to some of those stylistics of bands. Conqueror, yeah. So there you go. And then that's the inside, and then here is the tape. So this is really good too. This one I was really like. They really say black metal, and I do think that it is mostly that, to be honest with you. But I do, like I said, everyone's like just there's hints of that death metal style that I also hear in it. But they're from Barcelona. They play arcane and esoteric brand of anti-human noise. So yeah, there's some noise elements into this as well. It combines elements of band that combines elements of black metal, war metal, death metal, and even a little bit of grindcore, punk, stuff like that. So there's a mix of that. So if you're into that style of music, which, there's so many bands that are doing this, but this is done really, really well. Band that I've never heard of. It's really, really good. This one was one of my favorite of the albums that I've bought. This is the one I've been listening to quite a bit. So definitely check this out. But just, again, beautiful presentation. Folds up nicely. So this band, next one I'm about to show, I was familiar with this band. I feel like I might have just randomly found them on Bandcamp a while ago, but I recognized the name of the band. I knew exactly who they were. I knew what I was getting when I was ordering this. I've also seen a couple of other YouTubers talk about this, like the underground YouTubers talk about it. So they've been around for a while, but this is some more Death Doom from Spain. And this is Bocc, Bocc. And this is with, I'm gonna butcher this. This is their EP from this year, Le Forja dels Cranis. I don't speak the language, so sorry about that. But yeah, this is really, really good Death Doom. Crusty sounding at times, filthy. But yeah, it looks like this is not the first Noxious Ruin release that they've done on Bocc. I think that's probably why I'm familiar with them. But I know I've just seen them around, but this is the first time I've ever actually full blown like listened to them and got familiar with them. They do have a full length that came out in 2022, and then they have a couple of other EPs and stuff like that. So here is the front, side, back. And then there's the tape. I'll show you the inner sheet here. This is probably my favorite part. I like this. It's just like old school Xerox piece of paper thrown in there. I like it. This is probably one of my favorite elements of it. And then, of course, the amazing artwork. So very cool. This one was another one of my favorites that I really enjoyed, that I will probably listen to several times more. I'm a new fan of this band. Need to go back and find some of their other stuff. I feel like somebody else showed off their full length recently. I know that they did. I just can't remember who it was now. And then finally, the last one for today. This one, this is the band that I was most familiar with that I bought. Heard them before. I liked them. I'd always wanted to dive further into them, and this is Death Possession with Demiurge of Foul Form. Oops, actually, I had that upside down. So yeah, I think actually it goes that way, right? Yes. So it goes that way. Here's the back. So this is a U.S. band. Finally, we're back into the U.S. So I feel like some people are probably already. This might be the one that you actually might be familiar with if you've never heard of this band. I actually know of this because I feel like it was trending on Bandcamp or something. But this is their only release. This is a demo that they put out this year. It came out back in February. Trying to think now. Oh yeah, I saw it on. Oh, who put it out? Somebody else put this out. And I went to go buy. I saw it in a distro and I listened to it. That's how I knew who they were. So I finally got it. This was originally what I wanted to Noxious Ruin to get, because after I listened to the demo, I searched to see who still had it, because I know somebody else. I'm pretty sure somebody else printed this too. I think Noxious Ruin actually has this in their distro now that I think about it. So here's the tape. Showing the tape off first this time, and then this is a little bit more of the straightforward death metal that I'm showing today. There's definitely heavy influences of like the Finnish bands in there. I hear a little bit of Autopsy as well. So yeah, a little bit more straightforward death metal with this release. There you go. And then I love this. I love the black and white aesthetic for this one. It looks awesome. So again, links will be in the description where you can buy and listen to this. Yeah, this is really, really good. I like all these releases. I love when I find things that I'm not too familiar with that are just, like pretty underground. And a lot of these are very underground. So Noxious Ruin, amazing tapes. They actually just announced, I think like a week or two ago, they put out Profanation, Skull Crushing Violence. I showed that CD a while back. Amazing release. So there's a tape version of that out. That is actually on sale for $6.40 right now. Definitely kind of wanting that. I know I have the CD, but the tape looks awesome. It's only $6, so I might actually just put an order in and get it. But they have several other new things coming out. They also sell t-shirts and stuff. And like I said, they have a distro. And that distro sells other people's zines. It also sells tapes. All of the cassette tapes are on sale right now. So there are several cassettes that they have in their distro right now for $6.40 that you should get. I'm going to list them off right now. I'm not going to show them because you should definitely just go and do it. Decrepitorum, which is Decrepitorum. Foul Exclamations, which is a cassette that has been sold out on Headsplit for a long time now. One of their best releases they put out, and they put out a lot of releases. Like, this is one of my favorite releases. They have that available for $6.40. So if you're looking for that, they have the new Phantom EP that I showed off yesterday, $6.40. They have Atavastic Decay, the demo from Night Terror Records, which I have not shown that yet, but I do have it. I'll talk about it in another video. $6.40. They have several other Headsplit releases currently on sale, as well as the new Colostrum self-titled record from last year. That's there. I actually am getting that vinyl in today, I believe. I finally got around and bought it. They have Caustic Phlegm, $5. Like, there's shit. I might have put another order in because there's a couple of things on here that I actually don't own, and it's $5. Like, you can't beat these prices. And then they also have some vinyl on sale. Oh my God, they have the Afterbirth Brutal Inception 12, the EP, the demo from Afterbirth. It's only $15. Wow. How is this not sold out yet? Because it's sold out everywhere else. All right. Well, I'm definitely doing an order now. I'm going to buy that before I upload this video. Like that Necropsy Odor, the 7-inch. Like, come on, man. Sadistic Execution. There's a bunch of stuff on their distro right now that you should definitely go get if I don't get it before you. After all, it is payday today. And I have not made any Friday purchases because of the things that I'm getting today I've already pre-ordered. Yeah. So that's Noxious Ruin. Again, the zine is absolutely worth the cost. It's $25. I mean, you're essentially getting a massive book here of just amazing artwork from amazing artists. There's the bands that they talk through here. Purposely not telling you all of the details because I want you to go look and get it. It's awesome. Just an awesome zine. Again, I really should have stayed on top of it because they've released so many other. This is volume 10. I think I have volume 2 and 3. So this is my third one that I've bought. And again, I'm not a huge zine collector. I always talk about that. But it's definitely worth the cost. So go get it. And people, these are the highly collectible things. Like, these sell for stupid prices on Discogs. People will sell this for like $20 and these are like what people are essentially buying the zine for in a lot of cases. So yeah. That's all I have. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you had a safe Halloween yesterday. Next week, probably going to release a video every single day again. I'm grinding once again. But before I go tonight, I am on Heavy Metallurgy once again with Simon from Explosive Action. And then, of course, Marty and Alan. We're talking about our favorite albums from the 1990s. So a favorite album from 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. And yeah, a lot of mine's going to be death metal. But there's a few in there that are going to be curveballs that you won't expect. So check out the stream. I'm really excited to be back on there. I feel like it's been a while, even though I think I was there last month, I think. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next one.